How is it going, everybody? How this guy's gonna call it. This is the extras. It's a tribute. Notice how this guy's the extras for Mad World, just like the Tears for Fears song and Donnie Darko, was an hour long. Hour long. The extra part was. I watched about 20 minutes of it. I mean, I grew up with this movie in my childhood. Like we were talking about, it was released 15 days before JFK went down. Just hilarious movie. The amount of comedians, they said every comedian fought to be in this movie, if just for just a little scene. Like Jerry Lewis had one scene where he drove over a guy's hat. Don Knotts from, Andy Griffith Mayberry had one scene. There were tons of comedians that came in just to do one scene and happy to do it. It's like a complete comedic collaboration, which, that's their word, collaboration, community. They just love it because it's a copycat of us, because that's what us sheep do. We collaborate, and we are what? A community for the Lord and truth. So, the name of the movie has 4 mads in it. It's a mad world. Well, they kept calling it Mad World for short, which they shorten up all movie titles, And let me load the Bible study. Bible study was interesting. Highly suggest y'all watch the Bible study. So you see it's got 4 mads in it. Check.
It's been called the all-time comedy classic.
And that was to give you perspective based off what I was telling you, because I kept telling you there was no other. There's Don Knotts right there. Phil Silvers.
An all-star cast of the biggest.
You got to be my age to know all this stuff.
In comedy. It's a mad world. Was the first.
These women were beautiful in this movie too, man. There's a
successful big-budget comedy ever made. Join us now as we celebrate Mad World and pay tribute.
And he called it Mad World. And clearly it's Mad World. But Mad World from Donnie Darko. Okay. We get it. Got it. Thank you. So the big scene where the big W, where the big treasure was, Santa Rosita Beach State Park. Will I check that out in Gematria? Maybe. If I have time. 37 hours is our progressions that we count, because Michael and I discovered working together that it is a 37-hour cycle of time. Did I say 37 hours? 37 days. I put 37 hours in the subject. Sorry, Michael. 37 days comes to 888 hours, because it's a 37-day cycle that they're bouncing and basing things off of. And they always knew we would reach this cipher, so they've got everything bouncing off of all kind of 37. So it's very complicated, and it's just a puzzle, and we're trying to put it together. But 37 days is 888 hours. Newly discovered that. Just thought it was interesting. We know that 37 is the 12th prime number. 12 is the number representing the church. So let's go to comments. Joe Kane and Christian started having a party. Let's join their party. June 6th equals 666, or 66/2022, because you add the 2 and the 2 and the 2, then you get 666. It would be 6/5 in the US. The movie Don't Look Up alludes to a comet hitting the Earth in 6 months. The movie was released on 12/5, which was when my son got married, as an alcoholic, drinking daily, and he's still drinking daily almost like a liter a day. Again, just it just blows my mind. It's always in a state of flux. So 12/5/21 is when he got married. It's the day after the total solar eclipse. But if you add 6 months exactly to that day that he got married, or the movie Don't Look Up said in 6 months, the 6 months comes to our June 5th date, which we're keeping an eye on, which is also Pentecost. Pentecost, 50 days, 6/5/22 minus 50 days equals 4/16. Or if we were in Israel, it would be 4/17 Easter. Very interesting stuff. I think a 7.3 earthquake struck near Australia this morning, May 19th. 73, of course, another third marriage progression of mine, as May 19th is. And because remember when I first got married, it was 3 times 12 times 1983. And of course, it had the 138 for Donald Trump and the 88 for Trump and the number of the day I originally got married to my first wife. And you see the 713, and my next marriage happened when? Yes, 7/14, July 14th. So next progression. Another way to make the next progression is 72. Another, and then my third progression would be 73, right? Or 715. So when he said 7.3 earthquake on May 19th, it's like that stuff that hits on my world, it never stops. It's constant. I've noticed it for many years, and I started sharing it with y'all when we started getting down to the nitty-gritty of numbers, transfer portals. I said, just all the stuff that you've been seeing, share it with them, because maybe somebody will see something. I don't know. I mentioned the song Manic Monday the other day. Christian says, I just looked into it. Manic Monday is a song by American pop band The Bangles, and it was first released from their second album, Different Light, in 1986. It was written by American musician Prince using the pseudonym Christopher, or Christ, of course, Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale. It was originally intended for the group Apollonia. So there's Apollo. The group Apollonia 6 in 1984. Lyrically, it describes a woman who is waking up to go to work on a Monday, wishing it was still Sunday, so she could continue relaxing. Prince wrote Manic Monday in 1984, recorded the duet of the band Apollonia, 6th self-titled album. However, it eventually pulled the song. The Bangles. So y'all could read that there. It was very interesting. It's got released January 26, 1986. May 19, 2022 would equal 36 years, 3 months, and 22 days. It's interesting. Today's basically over anyway, isn't it? It's 11/11, folks. Your favorite number. Stuff means nothing to me. Not anything in their world means nothing to me. Just saw something. The House just passed a bill to combat domestic terrorrism, right? The bill passed 222-203 on Wednesday, May 18th. If you take 222 and then the 203 equals 6/5, maybe we're coding the date. Maybe 6/5 equals 6/6 in Israel. 6/6 2022 6/6 Pentagon. Okay, that's the same thing. President Joe Kane said also the 500th day since Trump left office. That's pretty freaky. And IPEC Goat 2 at 6:50. The church crumbles. 6:05 on IPEC Goat 2. Something else is interesting. IPEC Goat 2 5:47. The big earthquake and the Antichrist is birthed. 5:28. The day he's speaking at Casper. Yeah, right. Like he's already a ghost, like a ghost. Interesting for sure. Yeah, we're loving that. Well, I tried to hit the button and it's not letting me hit it. Does that mean because it's disappeared? Well, it's going to be now. No, it's still there. It let me give the heart, and now it finally let me give the thumbs up at Joe Kane. Great catch, Joe. I didn't think about the time zone difference. Makes perfect sense. 222, 203 could both be 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. The 203 could be 2 plus 3 equals 5, or 2 times 3 equals 6. Get both dates 6-5 in the west, 6-6 in the east. At Joe Kane. Don't know if you saw news about Britney Spears losing Miracle Baby. Britney Spears, Spear of Destiny, We Seek, We Find. Did video labeled Constantine where he shows Trump's military picture and Trump is the tip of the spear. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you guys. Outstanding. So that was my Joe Kane. I sent that to myself and Michael. I thought it was really interesting. The first words in Mission Impossible. I just started the movie, the original, and it says Kiev. That's what the first thing that popped up on a computer screen. So it's all about Kiev, Ukraine, and Mission Impossible was released on May 22nd. And of course, it's about to be May 20th. The running time is 110 minutes, which the Twin Towers were 110 stories tall. So I'm starting to see a pattern. How about y'all? We were just talking about Chariots of Fire last week, reporting that the composer of the famous song died today. Vangelis, Chariots of Fire, and Blade Runner composer dies at 79. Yeah, Michael and I were just talking about that. Chariots of Fire, we're getting closer to the mosque bombing as depicted in IPAC. Goat markets plunge, war coverage, Israel military to hold large-scale drill simulating wide-scale strike on Iran. The Times of Israel reports. Well, that's super fascinating. Thank you, Michael, for that. Was talking about 500 days. June 5th. Minus 500 days was, yeah, that's it. So Trump out of office. When he completely came out of office, that's what we figured the other day, right? His first day completely out of office. 500 days to that is June 5th. That is tremendously huge. Now, tomorrow is Candy's anniversary date of 27 years when she married her first husband. And 520, you know, 517, 518, 519, 520, 1, 2, 3, 4 progressions, 3 digits out of my marriage. And it is her original marriage date. These things mean nothing. They're just things that that always hit my brain. And there's no eclipses. There is an eclipse that backs into tomorrow. So what is tomorrow? Trump and I's combined number has the 22196. I turned that many days on 413. So I started tracking 413. And it pops the first progression of it, the first 37 days of it does hit on May 20th. Now, if you include both dates, tomorrow also connects with October 2nd, 1988, Donnie Darko. If you include both dates, it's also a partial lunar eclipse of 1988. And again, that's Candy's 27th original marriage anniversary. And 27 is right there in every single combined number with me and her when you also combine it to the year. The year I met, we were in the 626126. That was the last 2 sets of that before it's flipped for 15 years now of 627-127. But there was still a 27 in it. 626 was in the middle, but the 27 was over here. 126 was in the middle, but there's a 127 over here. And then the year we get married, it changes to 627, 127, 627, 1. There's been a 27 in our number every year since I've known her until 2023, there is no 27. Well, tomorrow marks 27 years that she had been married in her first marriage. And so tomorrow's a big day, straight up. There's a ton of big days. They're all big to me when I see this stuff. That's why it's so confusing. And I knew it would be. And I was sitting there talking and thought I was recording, and I wasn't. So Trump and I's combined number has a 322 that sits right in the middle of it. It also has a 1968 in it at the end. But my Mayday friend, they were born Mayday 1985. They turn 13463 days old on March 11th, which is the first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number. 33 days later, you get 22196. I turned that many days old 33 days later, the next 5 digits in Trump and I's combined number. I turned that many days old 33 days after she turned that many days old, fusing the 322. 33 days after I turned that was the total lunar eclipse. So what about 33 days before she turned that? I thought about that today. So March 11th, that famous day, we all know March 11th, that famous day. But you go back March 11th, 37 days, and you land on my divorce date to Candy, February 2nd. How fascinating is that? I'm sorry, not 37 days. You got to go back 33 days. I knew something wasn't wrong. That's why I paused the video and redid the math. Go back 33 days from March 11th, and you're going to land on February 6th. Now, that's my friend's birthday, who has the Fibonacci sequence. That's her number. She's born February 6th, 1965. That's her whole number right there, 2358. And the Fibonacci sequence begins with 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So she has every one of her numbers, her year times her month times her day, is a Fibonacci sequential number. Nothing wasted. And she called me the other day. The last person I had like a relationship with in 2012 when I was fully fornicating. And she's a longtime friend. And again, somebody I dated. And so I started wanting to go through all these progressions because, yeah. So we go up 66 days. And it lands on the total lunar eclipse. Go up 99 days. So I started doing progressions of 33s instead of 37s, since there was a 33 progression that was based on Trump and I's combined number and my Mayday friend. And let's go to June 18th and keep going. June 18th plus 33 takes you to July 21st plus 66, August 23rd plus 99, September 25th. Well, guess what the next one is? Let's go to September 25th and just key in 33 days. And it hits second wife's birthday or the Gateway Arch. October 28th. And it continues over to Israel's anniversary of May 14th next year. So I just, they're just more ciphers is all it is. Just something I was looking at, wanted to share with y'all. And that's pretty much where we're at for tomorrow. It is, including both dates, the Donnie Darko October 2nd, 1988 date. It's on May 20th. Then he would rise on May 22nd. Well, there's no full moon there. Just like there's no full moon. So, with the IPEC goat and the full moon, is that symbolic that he comes out on a full moon later on? Or does Trump really go down 2 days before a full moon? And that should be the only thing we're tracking. I don't know. I'm clearly at a loss when it comes to that. Clearly at a loss. Because if it's 2 days before a full moon, well, that makes our job a lot easier. We just track all these dates, but only count the ones that land 2 days before a full moon. Which, since the full moon is on Trump's birthday, the next one would be June 12th. And June 12th, we have only one thing that lands on June 12th. We have nothing else for June 12th. Do you want to know what it is that lands on June 12th? The backwards cipher, the future cipher of the X across America USA total solar eclipse on 4/8/2024. The one that makes the final X. The first one was August 21st, 2017. Remember, the exact halfway point between those two eclipses was a total solar eclipse of 12/14/2020. Day one of the pokey poke and day one of Joe Biden being approved as winning the electoral college. So now my first wife and I was our first date, for whatever that's worth. To me, I always think in terms of stuff like that, because I've remembered for some reason every date of everything. It seems like every address, every date, every zip code. Why? I don't know. So I just throw it in. So that's it. March 5th, May 20th. After we clear May 20th, we'll move on to the rest. But I need to move these days back now. Have the 20th at the top. And of course, there's the 21st. Which is on the Saturday. But Trump needs to go down, right? Because he's going to be in Casper, which means he's going to be a ghost by then, right? Or is that just another psyop for us? Because it's for us. There's nobody else they're tricking. Nobody else. There's nobody else even remotely tuned into this all these ciphers and stuff. All right, anyway, love y'all. Michael, Christian, Joe Kane, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.